This is the vlog for December 2nd, 2018. Last month of 2018, this has been a very bad year. There's no other way of saying it. I've had more heartache and trouble this year than I think just about any other in my life. But it's the holiday season, so there's always room for a little hope, a couple miracles. I'm not saying that like I have a miracle planned. It's not really how miracles work anyway. I did do quite a bit of writing this morning. I talk a little bit about my writing process. I try and make all the notes that I can ahead of time so that it helps a lot with my world building. So when I think of, I need to have these characters go to a place, I have, a place with a name and a little bit of a history that I can throw in, and that just makes the world feel more genuine in my mind. Could be completely off, and I'll have an editor tell me, well, this doesn't work, and this name is silly. No one's ever going to be able to pronounce this or remember it. You need something else. But that's a double-edged sword, because sometimes what I feel like using at one moment doesn't really work that well when I'm actually writing. Case in point, today in writing a scene, I had to check some previously recorded notes I had. Sorry, I've had hiccups since dinner. And even though the name of this place wasn't even going to come up in this particular chapter, I decided that the city of Schinsenberg, which is located in the territory of Schinsenlik in Deutschido, very German inspired if you couldn't tell, I decided that I really didn't like it. And it's partly because the great house that controls that territory, is called Shizuke, which is a Japanese word. As it turns out, Deutschido, Deutsch and Shido, is sort of a merging of the German and Japanese traditions. When I came up with the idea of that nation, I had a very sort of business-minded, serious, we do things a certain way kind of, even some Russian influence in there. And so there are 4 territories, 4 great houses in Deutschido, and one is called Sagand, one is called Drasilla, one is called Shizuke, and one is called Idokuni, or Idokyo. I can't remember. I get the names of their territories and the names of the great house mixed up sometimes, and that was part of the problem, is that House Sigand is in control of the territory called Schneesausten, or Schneeschasten. I might have to work on my pronunciation of that if I ever have to talk about it in public. Well, I'm talking about it right now. And I can't even remember the name of their capital. Luftstadt is their capital. And I decided that I had a lot of S names in Deutschido, and having 2 great houses starting with an S was going to be pretty confusing. And then having both of their territories also start with S's was just going to make that worse. And somewhere in my notes, I had, instead of Schinsenberg as the capital of that territory, I had a city named Nurberwald. Well, I am... Let me just make sure I have it written down at least. Like I said, I've been taking a lot of notes. Nurberwald is the name. No, excuse me. Nivaldberg was the capital. And that was an ancient capital that was then destroyed and replaced with a new capital, and that's where I came up with Schinsenberg. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized how much I liked Nivaldberg, or Nurwaldburg, way more than Schinzenberg. And I decided to switch that up, which meant making a bunch of changes and a bunch of pages of notes to make sure it all lined up. And I already had written that Nurwaldburg, I'm going to keep doing this. Yeah, Nivaldburg. These are all really great words to write and read, but they are not easy to pronounce. Even though I am German by descent, I don't speak German. I can barely pronounce a lot of German words. So, Nivaldburg was the original capital, but New Nivaldburg, because that's how we do it in the real world, so why can't we do it in fantasy worlds as well, will be the new capital. And the territory that Nivaldburg is a capital of, the territory that Nivaldburg is a capital of, is going to be called Nurberwald. Wald, at least, means forest, and it is a very forested area, so that makes sense. So that was the early part of my day. I just happened upon a movie that was on called Leap Year, and I could talk another 5 minutes about that, but I've already hit 6 minutes right now, so I think I will just call this one good, and I will say I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.